Howdy, and welcome back to the channel. This is Matthew Pizgatti, and I wanted to give an update on the OrbitalSwap.com farms and pools, just because I did toss a little bit into both, a very small amount, and I wanted to update because, even though I'm a small player, small bag holder, I don't throw thousands and thousands of dollars at these things, mostly because I don't have that to spare, but you can still, learn from my experimentation if you are thinking of entering into any of these types of various systems. Mainly because, of course, everything is percentage based, right? So if I get a 2% return, you know that you may have seen similar returns had you invested during that time period. As always, nothing here is financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do with your funds. You do your own research. Look into these things yourself. Orbital Swap is very new, right? They haven't been around that long. They had a pre-sale for this Titan token, which, by the way, is very, very affordable if you're looking to just take a gamble on something. It's very cheap. It just came out, obviously, so it's very, very low. It's like cents still, I think. We'll take a look at that while we're on the subject. Yeah, it's 7 cents right now. That's one of their natives. Now their other, or the one that their main token here, their Orb token, which is the native token for this DEX, for this swap, is at about 11 right now, and it's kind of seen some peaks and valleys lately. It was on a pretty good rise. It was around probably 14 or 15 when I originally snagged some and threw it into the pools. So you have to keep that in mind. Is that there was probably some spike, especially people from the DRIP community kind of hearing about it and investing some, and just being relatively new. It's kind of getting established, and we don't know where it's going to settle out. It looks like it really loves this range so far, right around this 11 mark. You can see it peaked up to over 25 in a couple days, around 20, dipped down here to 6 or 7, and back up to 15. So we're kind of hovering around this center line here where it's at right now. And just to take that into account, the pools, by the way, or the one pool that they have is actually having a pretty good return. That being said, depending on when you buy Orb, or if you had bought Orb earlier on like I did and it was at 14 or 15, right now my estimated return is going to look lower just because it's 11. We don't know what it's going to be. Could be 20 next week, could be $5 next week. And so even though we're looking at what the profit is in Orb, and that's going to return the same rate because you're staking Orb and you're receiving Orb, what you could actually sell that for will obviously be different depending on what the price is at the time. And that's, part of the reason, part and parcel to the reason people always say, oh, we don't care about price. It's because they don't care about price right then. They don't care about price at that moment. But then, of course, when it comes time to actually sell a little and take a profit, that's when you care about the price. And indeed, the price, for that matter, determines when you decide to sell. You may wait for a higher price, and then sometimes that gamble works out, sometimes it doesn't. But on to staking Orb. So this is one of the pools. Actually, this is the only pool they have right now with their native Orb token. I threw in about $80 worth, which, yeah, got me about 6-something Orb. Or a little less. This looks like it's auto compounding. Yeah, so what I did was a locked stake. You don't have to do that. You can do a flexible one where you just stake it and you can remove it at any time. I locked it up just because the return was slightly higher. I just did a week, and I can always extend that or add more Orb, or when it gets done, I can just take it out, right? So if you look right now, this has only been here in almost 2 days. A good way to check what your Orb profit is here is you can pop over to their token, to a swap page, enter that amount of Orb, change this bottom amount to something like BUSD, equivalent to the dollar, and I can see I've already made about 16 bucks off this, and that's what the price of Orb dropping. So obviously, if each Orb was worth more, I would have a little more here, right? And when I decide to sell, take a little profit off of it, or maybe just stake the Orb longer and see how long it goes. There's different strategies there, right? But when I get time to sell, if this is higher, obviously I will have made more. But this has actually had a pretty good return, this Orb. They've got a really good APY on this one here. And there is a calculator. If you're not staked in this yet, if you go to their pools page on orbitalswap.com, you'll see a little calculator button instead of this screen. I don't know how to get to it while I'm locked. But yeah, you'll see a little calculator, and you can actually play around with it. Locked versus flexible. Enter as many orbs as you want to get an idea of what your return might be. Obviously, as they say, that is only taking into account current rates and current prices. So that could change in a week, or if you lock it for 5 weeks or 30 days or what have you. Obviously, that could change. We all know prices fluctuate. But so that's something kind of interesting. There's a pretty big return on that. And they have a large number of farms over here. Obviously, I've only thrown into the DRIP BUSD farm so far. There is an ORB BUSD one. It looks like that has the highest APR out of, I think that's the highest out of all of their farms. I know they partner with Magic as well. That one's pretty high. Yeah, ORB BUSD is also pretty high. I might rather that than BNB with the way BNB has been kind of tanking. But there is a 60x multiplier on this ORB BNB, so maybe that would help offset some of the falling on BNB. The ORB BUSD is a 2.5 multiplier. And you can see their example there. If a 1x farm receives 1 orb per block, the 40x farm would receive 40 orb per block. So, but that's already included in the APR calculation. So any of these, if you want to look at any of these farms, you click the little calculator here, and you can throw in whatever dollar amount you want to look at. And then you can look at if you were compounding, if you weren't compounding, how often you compound. You know, $50 in 7 days on this ORB or whichever one I clicked on here. Yeah, or BNB. You know, 7 days might give me a $40 profit, 170 after 30 days. So obviously take that with the percentage in mind. If you're a bigger roller, you could throw, and you throw 500 in here, or if you throw 2,000 in here, 30 days. These, and by the way, these numbers, even though the orb rates keep fluctuating, so I'm sure they're lower for people now. Those who first told me about this and who did throw in like $3,000 into their pool. I think the orb one or the orb BNB farm, they're seeing really good returns. So they are ROI'd and then some on practically the first day. So there are some good rates right now because this is a new DEX. Now all that being said, before I ramble on about that a little further, let me show you what the DRIP BUSD farm is doing. So I do want to say this one, if you look at the calculator, because it is paying out in orb, I see my estimated rates are lower right now, but there's a few notes I want to make. So if you were to throw 500 in here of DRIP BUSD LP, in 7 days, you're only making about $30. I just threw in around 20, so I'm getting about, this is what I'm seeing every day, about 18 cents a day. And it really doesn't get much better if you compound. It's not an auto compounding, by the way. So I was kind of thinking that when I first got into it, there was some type of compounding going on. I think you have to actually harvest, though. So you'd have to keep that in mind. If you were going to compound every day, if you're looking at that on the calculator, you're going to have to harvest, pay whatever this gas fee is, and then you'd have to add back. Oh, well, actually, I guess you couldn't unless you converted this orb back to DRIP and BUSD and made more LP. So on their calculator for this page, I'm really not certain what this compounding feature really shows because there's no easy way to compound. I mean, theoretically, you could do it if you were to sell the orb off and then turn it back into DRIP BUSD LP, but that's a number of steps with a number of gas fees. So I don't personally like that, but I guess it could be done if you want that extra ROI, if you want that the higher profit is what I'm trying to say. So that is a possibility that you could theoretically compound it, but there is no button that actually just says compound to throw it right back in. Not that I can see. Yeah, because even if you go to you have to have more DRIP BUSD LP. So this DRIP BUSD farm is still exciting to me. It's still an exciting prospect. I can speak. Exciting prospect, just because it's a third-party DEX. It's a new DEX that's fairly new. So these orb tokens may become very valuable if everyone starts using this site, if it gets a lot of traction. And there is a lot of trades going on at the moment already. There are a lot of trades. There's a lot of liquidity being poured in. People are staking on this site. They are making money from it. And actually, that orb price drop recently is probably because it is such a new swap, a new DEX, And so those who did ape into it and made their, 20x profit in a couple days, I'm sure they've pulled that out just to be safe because it is so new. So they may still be staked and they may go back in, but I'm sure everyone at least pulled their ROI out, which is smart. That's actually very smart. And I may do something similar when my pool expires. I may at least get out my profit, and then I'll probably throw right back into it just due to the high rate of return if the orb price isn't just being ridiculous. But yeah, there's not a high rate of return on this drip BUSD farm right now. I mean, I only threw like $20 worth in, and of course the orb price is down, but I would only be getting somewhere right now between like 15 cents to like 30 cents a day. If orb was back up, it'd be closer to, yeah, like 35 cents a day, which isn't amazing, but again, this is a different dex. It has possibility of that orb going up. It's exciting because it is utilizing drip, so it's adding another place that drip can be locked up at on the net, and more utility for drip is better for the drip price overall, is better for the whole community as a whole, because it's not just locked into this one ecosystem not being utilized for anything else. Even though Forex is supposed to be coming out with these games and the farm should unlock and all these things, it's just kind of something neat that you can use your drip for, and then put it back into. You could take these orb profits and put them back into the faucet, right? I'm sure a lot of people are doing that with their profits because, well, that's smart. Faucet is a good basis, is a good foundation. So those are all the updates here. There's a number of farms on this site. This is a very new site. They haven't been live very long at all. So take everything here with some caution. We don't know a lot about it. That being said, they do have some documentation here. You can look at their roadmap. They've already been kind of clicking through things as we go through. They are making progress through their white paper here, through their roadmap. You could read about the different protections they have to try to keep their tokens rising and burning and stabilize price. And when you actually read through some of these on the white paper on the info tab, you might actually get kind of intrigued by this Titan token. It is one of those auto rebase tokens. If you're holding it, it's going to auto compound. But there are some interesting extra factors here. There's a much higher tax rate on this DEX. I don't know if we could find a specific thing that shows just that, because they're using that with this burner to, yeah, so 3% of buys and 3.5% of Titan cells traded are burnt in the afterburner. So that's going to increase or stabilize their price, which they really have to have something like that if they're auto rebasing into everyone's wallet. They have to have something that helps keep that price stable. It's kind of like a Seifu or something where it's compounding, auto compounding or rebasing directly into your wallet just for holding it, which I like for the safety aspect, by the way. I always think that's neat that you don't have to actually stake it, lock it up somewhere. But then you have of course, the issue with people don't actually have to participate in the system. They could just hold it, and that doesn't really help because they're getting rebases of these new coins for no reason without doing anything, and they're not contributing to the tax, except for their buy and their sell whenever they do that. So they have to have some of these other things like the insurance fund and the afterburner. Anyway, you should do some of your own research on that. Read through these, see if any of that sounds attractive. I'm not sure I'm buying any of that TIE share, except that it's, or Titan, is that what it's called? Yeah, Titan. I don't know that I'm buying any of the Titan. It is only 7 cents right now, so if you wanted to take a gamble and you think this DEX and these native tokens might go somewhere, it's on a pretty hard dive right now, which may be a great buy-in. I don't know a lot about it. I don't know a lot about the project, but I'm just throwing into the orb farm, and then or into the orb pools because there's a super awesome rate of return right now. Like I said, on my $80, I've already made 16, 17 within a couple days, and that's just because the orb price dropped, or else I would have made more. So I should be able to ROI this week and then keep earning after that, even though the rate of return will obviously go down. Kind of interesting to play around with and see where it goes. Very speculative play, like I said early on with the other videos regarding this. It's just very speculative. I'm throwing some money at it, seeing what it does, and I was excited that there's a DRIP BUSD farm. A lot of us were, because it does mean a new utility for DRIP. Like that's awesome, regardless. So, alrighty, well, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Let me know about this orbital swap if you have any comments on it. You know anything about the devs, or you heard about this project before we did? Do you know anything about the Titan, token? Is there actually something new and innovative there that we should really keep an eye on? What do you know about it? Is there something super shady? I don't know. So, what is this project site? Oh, okay, there is actually a separate site for. If you go to the Launchpad and then View Project Site, there is a Titan website here. So click here to buy token. Where does that take you? Does that take you back to the swap? Oh, no, it keeps you on this page to buy it. Okay. Pre-sale sold out in 1 hour. Well, there might have been a big amount of excitement at that point then. Well, I might read through this website a little further, and you might want to as well. See if this token looks like it. Who's behind it? Does it look like it actually has any interest, and why? There's some YouTube videos already. It looks like. Okay, well, this is something else I'm going to have to look into on the side. I just discovered this site. I didn't know they had more details. I might look through their Discord and the YouTube videos. This may be something cool I want to throw some money at, just because it's so affordable. That's what I'm into right now, because I am a smaller holder, like I've said. If I can find something that is coming in on the ground floor and it's very affordable, like Stake, I'm pretty excited for that, because I got in early, even with my small amount. And I hope to build a team there and really see what it can do. But, I'm always excited. I'm always on the lookout for those types of things. I'm looking at Ooze when it comes out. I'm looking at Rex 2.0. It should be out soon. There's something else that people have told me to look at. Someone told me to look at Furio. I need to take a look at that. There's so many new projects, though. It's like, especially if you don't have 30K, 60K waiting in the wings to throw at these things, it's like, you can enter into all of them as a small holder, which is what I'm doing, and then I'm mostly just reporting my percentage returns to you guys, so you can see if it's a legit project. You can see if I'm getting returns and able to claim them, and then that helps you make some more informed decisions if you have more money to throw at it. I don't usually, but if we can catch some of these smaller things early on, even us smaller holders can actually start to make, if we make good decisions and don't just throw it at every single scam or shady new thing that pops up. I'm trying to not do that. That's how you build. Now, you can afford more risk and more risky plays like that once you get to those higher levels of finances in this space. But when you're starting out, you got to try to really make some better plays and only throw your smaller amounts into the things that are going to have exponential returns. Get your ROI, get out of there quickly, and then invest back in with your profit if you can afford to do that, and see where it goes from there. That's always probably the smartest move for smaller holders, for beginners. Yeah, so I'm gonna check out this Titan a little further. I don't know a lot about it. See if it has some unique components. But once again, thank you guys for watching, liking, subscribing. I appreciate everybody commenting, because, like I said, there's always good questions there that sometimes I can answer. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe out there. Thanks again.